nitrogen stock. And in order to satisfy these objectives, I had to ask myself a couple of questions. And my first question was, will there be any change in soil organic carbon and total nitrogen stock when we change the woodland to a crop field? Or will there be any increase in soil organic carbon and total nitrogen stock when we convert the crop field then to Cupressus lusitanica plantation? My second question, which I asked myself again, was, is there any relationship between this soil organic carbon, total nitrogen stock, and the plantation of Cupressus lusitanica of 5, 8, and 17 years old? And my last question, but not the least, was, is the change in soil organic carbon and total nitrogen stock, does it depend on the amount of organic matter input back into the soil in the form of litter fall and fine roots? To satisfy these questions, I've already hypothesized, meaning I already had an idea of what my results might look like. And what I hypothesized was that with the conversion from the woodland to the field to the cropland, there will be a significant decrease in soil organic carbon and nitrogen stock. Secondly, I also hypothesized that when we reforest these crop fields, the soil organic carbon and total nitrogen stock will significantly increase. My second hypothesis was that there will be a positive relationship between soil organic carbon, total nitrogen stock, and the Cupressus lusitanica plantation of different ages, as 5, 8, and 17 years old. And my last hypothesis was that when the soil organic carbon and the total nitrogen stock, which even changes in these different land use types, will depend on the amount of soil, organic matter returned back to the soil in the form of litter fall and fine roots. So in my material and methods, my study was conducted in Wondo Genet, where we are presently, and it is 263 kilometers away from Addis Ababa. It was conducted, my samples were collected from 3 different sites. You have the woodland site. In which 50 years ago, all of this area was a woodland, and was later converted into this crop field with a blue spot from where I collected my soil samples. In 1997, the Cupressus lusitanica was established in this yellow dot, which is now 17 years old. Then I collected another sample from the 8 years old plantation, which was established in 2007, and in the last one, which was established in 2010, the Cupressus lusitanica plantation of 5 years old. And the crop field, initially, when it was converted, was used in green teff, and presently it is used now in green maize. And the geology and the climate of the study area couldn't definitely be left out. The geology of the study area is mostly made up of volcanic deposits of invertebrates, and the soil is molic soil, and we have a mean temperature of 19.5 degrees Celsius. To achieve these objectives, 125 soil samples were collected at 5 different soil layers, and these soil samples were used to analyze the soil pH, the soil bottom density, the soil texture, the soil organic content, the soil organic carbon, and total nitrogen content. For me to determine the soil organic carbon and the total nitrogen stock, this formula was applied, in which case I had to multiply the bulk density with the thickness of each soil layer, the soil organic carbon and total nitrogen content with times 10. But what I realized was that with the conversion of the woodland to the crop field, then the crop field to the plantation of Cupressus lusitanica, the soil layers definitely change, and the bulk density to also change. For me to regulate this error, I had to regulate the bulk density in the equation to solve the problem too. So litter fall was also collected for a couple of 6 weeks from the woodland side and also from the plantation side to determine the amount of litter fall production. So my statistical differences were analyzed by one-way ANOVA. And in a case whereby the one-way ANOVA failed, which failed in most cases, I used a Custorali non-parametric test to adjust this failure. and my statistical analysis was done using Sigma plot version 11. My results and discussion. The first parameter which I analyzed, very important, was the soil bulk density. And it was observed that from the woodland to the crop field, the soil bulk density increased significantly. And from the crop field to the plantation of Cupressus lusitanica of 5 years, 8 years, 70 years old, the bulk density did not change. These results suggest that the soil could have been compacted as a result of human activity in the process of tilling the soil in order to plant. But in the plantation sites as well, the bulk density didn't change again, and this could be because human activities were still imposed in the plantation sites. And this study is similar to a couple of studies conducted globally and also within Ethiopia. And furthermore, I analyzed the clay the soil texture, and I realized that the clay percentage was significantly higher in the plantation site, specifically at plantation 17 years old site, than in the woodland site. And this could be because at the plantation site there was, with the conversion of the woodland to the crop field, there was the weathering of the soils, both chemically and mechanically, so bringing about the high percentage of clay content at the plantation sites. Then the soil pH was analyzed, and from this analysis, the soil pH was significantly lower at the plantation sites than at the woodland site. And the reason is this could be because the Cupressus lusitanica leaves which were deposited back into the soil of acidic nature. And to further investigate if this was true, I had to evaluate the leaf pH of the plants found in different sites. And the leaf pH of Cupressus lusitanica was significantly lower as compared to that of the plants in the woodland site. And this insinuates that leaf pH is a species trend, so Cupressus leaves naturally are plants of low soil pH. Then furthermore, I had to collect litter 4. From my litter 4 results, it was observed that the litter 4 production was significantly higher in the plantation sites than in the cropland and the woodland site. And this explains that because the trees in the plantation sites had their crowns closer together, this contributed to the higher amount of litter 4 production, unlike in the woodland site where the canopy was discontinuous. And secondly, in the crop field, the crop residues were usually removed after cultivation. The reason for the low total litter 4 production. So in addition, I had to, from my total root mass, it was observed that the fine roots were higher in the plantation site than in the crop field. And this suggests, and this could be that the fine roots from the soil, due to human activities through cultivation, plowing, the fine roots were actually extracted from the soil. And in my soil organic carbon analysis, from the woodland to the crop field, soil organic carbon significantly decreased. But when we converted land from the crop field to the plantation of Cupressus lusitanica, the soil organic carbon content did not change at all within the first layer of the soil, that's the 0 to 20 layer, while the layers below, there was no significant change throughout the different land use types. That was the same scenario for the total nitrogen content. And this result suggests that within the crop field, because of soil erosion, soil tillage, and soil erosion, the amount of soil organic matter present in the soil in this area had to disintegrate, and therefore the reduction in the soil content. However, no change in the plantation site was because the soil pH, which is one factor which had to slow down the decomposition of soil organic matter returned back to the soil was also one factor. Human interference too was another factor. As well. Then I had to check this carbon to nitrogen ratio, and it was observed that the carbon to nitrogen ratio significantly increased in the crop field side as compared to the plantation sites. And this would be because nitrogen is usually nitrogen in the crop field was lost more because it was taken up more by the plants. And nitrogen is a nutrient requested by plants for growth, unlike carbon, which is not. And I had to do the soil organic carbon content. And it was observed that we changed in land use from the woodland to the crop field. The soil organic content significantly reduced. That was 22.28% of soil organic carbon was lost from the crop field. And that was why for the total nitrogen stock, the amount of total nitrogen loss was 40.3%. And with the conversion of the cropland to the plantation, there was no significant change in the amount of total nitrogen stock and the soil organic carbon stock as well. This signifies that when we convert the cropland, woodland to crop field, we lost twice the amount of total nitrogen stock compared to the amount of soil organic carbon stock. But when we reforested the cropland in the Cupressus lusitanica, there was no change. And this is in line with a couple of studies which have been done globally and within Ethiopia as well. However, even though my study was a success, it had some limitations which should be considered for any further research in this area of research interest. One of them is that this research is a solo replication, meaning the different study sites had no replication. Secondly, space for time was considered, and what I suggest is that my suggestion is that in future we should try to replicate the different study sites. We should also do the study within different time intervals, 10 years, 15 years, and 17 years. Then the soil erosion, decomposition, and mineralization rate should be properly determined as well. With this said, my conclusions were that we changed from the woodland to the crop field, soil organic carbon decreased by 22.8% and total nitrogen reduced by 40.8%. And there was no significant relationship between soil organic carbon and total nitrogen stock with age. And secondly, there was no overall. The overall objective is that even after 17 years of reforesting the crop field, the amount of soil organic carbon which was lost to the environment is not still being capable of being restored, same for total nitrogen stock. And my recommendations are that the woodland site should be left alone. It should be protected. People should not go ahead and cultivate the woodland site in order to minimize organic carbon loss. Secondly, the amount of crop residues or grass after cultivating should always be left in the crop field to minimize the amount of organic carbon and total nitrogen stock. Then, for the plantations to actually restore the amount of organic carbon and total nitrogen stock lost to the environment, after 17 years, the trees should be left to grow above that 17 years, and human interference tools such as grazing within these areas should be left out of place. Thanks.
Thank you very much for the next presentation. Now the time is for dinner. We have 30 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I very much appreciate the this is a first of its kind. if you look at list of tables, you don't have pages. Where can I find that list of tables? Each table, which page? It's not indicated. One.